How's everyone doing today? I have a horror Blu-ray collection update with 5 pickups. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. First up is the Arrow video release for Bloody Birthday. I recently got rid of my Severin release, and I kind of wish I would have kept it because they're two completely different transfers. And I feel like you should check out the screenshots online to see which transfer you prefer. I feel like I'm so used to seeing the Severin one because I've viewed that one several times. I really enjoy this horror movie. It's a slasher killer kid movie, and it's been a while since I've seen it now. Though I feel like I've had that Severin release for like ages. But it says it's Bad Seed meets Halloween. It's an 80s slasher from Ed Hunt, who directed The Brain, which recently got a Scream Factory release. I remember I had a bootleg for that for like forever. So happy to get to see that get a finally a Blu-ray release, or even an official release. It didn't even have a DVD release at that point. But this is starring Lori Lethin from Return to Horror High and The Prey, and it's basically a group of these kids, 10-year-olds, and they're all born during the solar eclipse. And they're evil and they start killing people. And there's some other recognizable faces in here too. I'm trying to remember. Julie Brown's in here, and basically it's I like the killer kid genre in general. I think this is definitely one of the best ones out there. Who Could Kill a Child is probably my all-time favorite, although I prefer the title Island of the Damned. But that also got a Blu-ray release recently too. I'm very happy for that. But this is definitely in the top echelon for killer kid movies from 1981. And this release is very nice. Again, check out the screen caps online, the screenshots to see which release you like better, because some people prefer the Severin, some people prefer the Arrow. It is a very different look to the film, color scheme-wise, the tent. Here's that cover right there, which I remember too on an old DVD release. But yeah, just evil killer kids, and there's the disc artwork, and then the reversible artwork, which I definitely prefer that artwork over that. And again, I love what Arrow Video does with the releases, special features, transfers, titles that they choose, newly commissioned artwork, reversible artwork, the booklet, the disc. Again, just awesome. And then the clear case even too. The packaging is for physical media collectors. It's a great job. You have to appreciate what they do. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Arrow Video releases in the future. And put this little advertisement back in here too. They have so many. I have so many Arrow Video titles on my wish list still. Next up is Happy Death Day. I was able to get this signed up by Rob Mello, who plays the serial killer in here. And I love Jessica Roth. She is phenomenal in this role. The sequel I didn't care for as much. It was too derivative, and then they tried to change certain things too. Even though I say it was derivative, even though they changed it, it's still the same thing happening. And it just really didn't stand out, and I don't know, I feel like it was a little bit goofier too. This one was a good mixture of horror and comedy. It's basically a horror version of Groundhog Day, and it is awesome, and I love it. And the babyface killer, so cool, and I was very happy to get this signed up. And yeah, she is so stunning, Jessica Roth, and she's amazing in this role. I do hope they make a third one, and I hope they bring it back to the original. I know they left it open to do a lot of things with it, especially the sequel, the way it leaves the door open. And I hope it becomes at least a trilogy. It deserves to, even though the second one was a step down in my opinion. I didn't like what they did with it. They tried to change everything, and it was unnecessary to do. You could have, I feel like, even though I'm complaining about how derivative it was, you could have done kind of the same thing and still made it more enjoyable than what they did. I understand they were trying to make something unique there, and it just didn't work. But this one, the first one, is amazing. One of my favorite modern horror comedy movies out there. I love the heck out of it. Just repeating the same day, and she's getting killed over and over, and she has to figure out who the killer is and stop it from continually happening. But I love it. So happy to have it signed up too. And I love getting the signatures on there. I know some people don't, but I do, especially if you're a fan of the film like I am for this one. And yeah, there's so many more horror conventions now. I feel like The Walking Dead really opened the door, which it's good and bad because they drove the prices way up, but it also made it so there's so many more people doing the conventions and more conventions in general. Next up is The Body, which is a Spanish film from the producers of The Orphanage and Julia's Eyes. I've seen this a while ago, and I remember being very atmospheric and creepy. More of a kind of like a mystery film, but there are horror elements in here. It's basically about this corpse who disappears from the morgue, and the person who was on duty right there, the guard, is left in a coma by indescribable fear. And then there's this detective there, and he's trying to figure out what happened to the body, and he's basically suspecting the widow of the body who's disappeared. And basically he has his own demons, and he's trying to go through that. He's trying to get through the mystery of it and tie everything together. And I really enjoy how it ties together. I think it's a really good mystery, very intriguing. And again, I love the way that it's shot too. Very dark hues to it, lots of grays and blacks and stuff like that. And that reflects the bleak tone of the film. But very creepy and atmospheric for sure. And I really like Julia's Eyes. I think that The Orphanage gets a lot of love, but Julia's Eyes is another one that I feel like is really underrated, deserves more attention. Next up from RLJ Entertainment, and this is an import, by the way, but it is region free. I got this from the UK, Kaleidoscope. They've done a lot of region free titles. I don't know if all of them are or not, but I have a few of the Kaleidoscope releases from the UK. Again, they have the little kind of obtrusive little rating logos. I'm glad we don't have that over here. A lot of countries, Germany, Australia, a ton of countries, the UK. The Australia one is really obtrusive. It's like a big one right there. But next up is Some Kind of Hate from RLJ Entertainment. And this surprised me. I feel like I heard a lot of criticism for this movie, but I really enjoyed the heck out of it. It's not perfect by any means, but I thought it was very tense, thrilling, some good gore effects, and then basically the ghost of this bullied girl, Mora, is crazy, super crazy, and makes things very tense, palpable tension. And oh god, that chick is so ridiculously stunning. So she makes great eye candy in here as well. But basically, it's about this kid who's been bullied, and he ends up going to this school for troubled teens, like in a remote area. I think it was like in the desert, and with all these other kids there who are having emotional problems, and some of them are bullies, and they end up bullying him. And there's the lead character right there, very goth kid looking. And he, of course, falls for the hot chick, and the hot chick is, flirting with him, even though she's involved with another guy there who's kind of bullying him. And then the ghost of Mora comes out and basically attaches herself to him and is killing everybody around him. And he's kind of being implicated in a way. And there's a lot of tension going on. I thought it was really well done. Again, there could have been certain things done to improve upon it, but I really enjoyed it. And I feel like it got unfair criticism. I'd say give this one a chance. I dug it. And Mora, the girl who plays the ghost right there, she really makes the movie too. She was awesome and just crazy as heck. And I liked everybody actually in their roles. I think they all did their respective roles very well. So a good supernatural slasher movie, essentially. And next up is a horror pack exclusive right here, limited edition for President's Day. And this stars Cool Duder on here. He's in here for a little bit, and it's basically a high school slasher movie. Somebody going to Lincoln High School, and they're dressed up as Abraham Lincoln. They're basically killing people, teachers and students, and they have to kind of fight to survive. And there's some kind of red herrings here and there. I thought this was actually really fun for a really low budget, shoestring budget slasher movie. Again, you have to kind of temper your expectations to that. If you're into low budget, especially really low budget, I think you will appreciate this one. But if you're looking for mainstream horror, you're going to be a little bit disappointed by the acting, the effects, and things like that. But for what it is, I think it was actually one of the better ones I've seen recently for the budget, especially. So I thought it was decently entertaining, and just it was a unique look to the killer too. I thought it worked. I thought it was enjoyable, better than I was expecting it to be for what I was going into initially thinking it. I'm pretty picky when it comes to low budget stuff. I feel like the worst movies I've ever seen have mostly been low budget horror, especially found footage movies, a bunch of found footage Bigfoot movies especially. I feel like all right, here's some of the ones that come to mind for the worst movies I've ever seen. Knock Knock 2, Skeleton Key 3, which has no tie-in to the rest of them. And then I will say, again, there's a bunch of found footage Bigfoot movies that would be in there. I can't remember out some of the names, but I've seen like a handful of them. Too many. I mean, once the found footage genre like just blew open, it was just so many people found it easily to make these movies that they shouldn't be making. But then I will say two big budget ones that I thought would land on my list for worst movies of all time would be two sequels. And that would be Joe Dirt 2. Oh my gosh. I actually really love the first Joe Dirt movie. The sequel was horrendous. And then, oh my gosh, I just thinking about it now, it brings back some of the memories and scenes from those movies. I'm just like, why did I sit through it? And then Zoolander 2, another one where it had a bunch of well-known celebrities and actors and things like that. Same Joe Dirt 2, and both of them were horrendous. Zoolander 2, Joe Dirt 2. Those would be two of the worst movies I've ever seen. They're mainstream big budget movies, and the rest would be like a lot of low budget horror. I've seen a ton of low budget horror, and I love horror. It's my favorite genre by far. I'm usually much more forgiving for them, for that genre more than other genres, but rough. And again, this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea. You have to be really into low budget horror and slashers and stuff like that, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So there you go. Those were the 5 horror Blu-ray pickups. Let me know what you think of them, if you've seen them, and which one of these is your favorite. Let me know what your favorite modern low budget horror movie or low budget slasher movie is. Let me know what your favorite underrated modern horror movie is. This isn't my favorite I'm just throwing some stuff out there. Your favorite modern horror comedy movie. Your favorite Arrow Video Blu-ray release, standalone release, not like a box set or anything like that. And what you would like to see Arrow Video release in the future. And let me know what the worst movie you ever saw was. And let me know what the worst horror movie you ever saw was. And the worst mainstream big blockbuster movie you ever saw was. There's a lot of bad movies out there, a lot of recycled ideas, a lot of sequels, prequels, remakes and such, reimaginings, whatever terminology you want to use, just recycled and recycled and recycled. And I feel like there's a lot of movies you can choose from out there, especially I feel like in recent years. The originality, there's still so much you can come up with. We see new movies all the time, unique creative ideas or new spins on things, but we also see way more of the recycled garbage all the time. And not just from low budget, but also from big blockbusters, mainstream stuff too. And do you have any autographed Blu-rays or DVDs or movie memorabilia, things like that, signed stuff? Let me know. Leave me those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.